it was shaping up to be like a kind of an alternate tournament. You know what I mean? They got a lot of bantamweights on this card, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's probably the next best thing besides the tournament, of course.
Gotcha. And so at the time you were targeting a fight with maybe Patchy or maybe James Gallagher. So are you happy with how the matchmaking process played out?
Yeah, I'm happy with the matchup. And like I've said, I've been saying it all week. I'm looking forward to fight all these guys. Patchy Mix, Mike Megov, James Gallagher, Josh Hill. I'm looking forward to fight all these guys. So, and the tournament format would have been great because I would have had a chance to fight all of them. But this is pretty much the next best thing because I'm fighting alongside of a lot of them. So I get to see them close up. You know, I get to have a good performance and then call them out right after. You know what I mean? Have conversations with them outside of the media or whatever. So it's fun.
Darnell, go ahead.
Hi, Raufeon, Darnell, Giovanni with MMA. Alan, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. If Sergio ends up winning this title, would you be okay with fighting him?
The only way I fight Sergio is if it would like benefit my family. So like a title is the only way I would even be willing to fight Sergio. You know what I mean? He's like a brother to me, so I'm not just fighting him for nothing. If a title was on the line, that's be the only way.
Have you guys had that conversation recently?
We had a while back, but we talked about it, but it was like kind of in passing. We're not really like focused on that. That's like kind of in the back of our head. We're focused on our opponents now and focused on making each other better now. So that's kind of what our vibe is now.
Patchy, go ahead.
Hi there, Raufeon. You just said that you probably wouldn't fight Sergio unless under very specific circumstances. But with this matchup with Juan Archuleta, what do you think of his chances? Like, how do you think he's going to do? I mean, obviously you're going to ride because that's your boy, but how do you think he's going to do, and how do you think he's going to get it done?
I think he's going to dominate. I think I don't think Juan Archuleta is going to have all the answers for Sergio. I think Sergio is probably the best I've felt him in the coming 6 years I've trained with him. His mind is right. His body is right. He's on point. So I'm very confident Sergio's going to come out with the win.
Thank you.
Dylan, go ahead.
Hi there, Raufeon. Appreciate you making some time.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I just have to address the shirt there. I'd be remiss if I didn't there. Are you rocking Clarence Bubba on the tee there?
You're damn right I'm rocking Clarence Bubba. Today is actually his birthday.
Yeah, his third birthday on your Insta, I was seeing.
Yeah, it's his third birthday today. You know, I couldn't be with him, so I figured I'd bring him with me all day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to FaceTime him as much as possible. But yeah, this is my son, Clarence Bubba. Clarence Big Boy Bubba. Can't mess that up.
Yeah, I love seeing that. And I'm just kind of wondering like how much motivation that's given you leading into the fight, because it made me smile when I saw you pop up on the video here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I'm really happy with my role as a father. And, you know, I tried not to fight, you know, around his birthday or to miss, you know, one of the milestones in his life. So it does, like, it gives me a little extra fire. Like, you know, you're making me miss my son's birthday. So, you know, but I'll handle that here in a couple of days.
Santiago.
Hi, Raufeon. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. The fight between Mix and Gallagher is not going to happen on this card. Would you agree with me that the winner of your fight is now going to be next in line for a title shot?
Yeah, I think I probably have the best case for a title. I'm not like pushing my way to a title. I almost want to play bodyguard for Sergio for a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I have probably the best case for a title just because, you know, this will be the second ranked opponent that I've beaten when I get the win on Saturday or Friday. So I definitely have the best title. I would say that Patchy Mix and Gallagher had like a case just because Patchy fought for the belt. Gallagher has a big following. You know what I mean? So I thought I would try to fight one of those guys. But since their fight fell out, I feel like we're the front runner as far as like title contention goes.
Who is going to be in your corner for this fight, Raufeon? Did you bring Duke with you?
Yeah, so Duke is here, obviously for Sergio and for me. And then Jordan Griffin, one of my teammates, is going to be here.
Thank you for the time. Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Sergio, go ahead.
Hi, Raufeon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, this is Sergio from Fighter Path MMA. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, obviously, you're competing on the same card as Sergio. What does it mean to have someone like that with you, training with you, and prepping? I'm sure mentally it's gotta be a huge help.
Yeah, I mean, I fought with him back in July, and it was kind of the same thing. We trained together like all the time. We're one of each other's main training partners. So you know, our vibe is like always on point. I actually learn a lot from Sergio. He learns a lot from me. So we're always like mutually beneficial to each other, and we keep each other, you know, motivated. You know what I mean? Sergio is an awesome person, and you know what I'm saying, just a motivating person and cool, calm, and collected guy. So it's very good. I feel very confident when I have Sergio here. And when I'm fighting on the same card with Sergio. Yeah. And that goes for a lot of my teammates, but Sergio is definitely, I'm happy he's here.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, hi. Paul Casanova, EDF Sports. Moments ago, Josh Hill said that his advantage was he holds more power and can hit harder. What do you think your advantages are over him?
I would say my advantages would be probably my volume and my length.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll go to MMA Locker Room.
All right. How's it going? This is the MMA Locker Room coming from Pub Sports Radio. I just want to ask you one question, man. I'm a big fan of yours. I remember when you chose Bellator over those 3 organizations when you had all the gloves there on the table. I still remember that. But take me into the locker room with you, man. When you're walking out that locker room into that octagon, what's going on in your mind? Are you cool, calm, collective? Are you ready to kill? Are you looking at that guy like that's the next victim?
So me personally, what I'm saying is in my head over and over again, I'm confident, fearless in all that I do. I'm going out here to dominate, excite, and finish fight. And I'm focused on, like, I'm pretty calm and collected till I get around that like 10, 20 mark where I'm like, I'm getting up ready to go. And then my adrenaline starts racing. Then I calm down a little bit for the walkout. And then I'm calm down like as much as I can. And then I'm excited to be there, and I'm like ready to fucking go. Like, let's go. Let's get it on. Let's fucking fight. You know what I mean?
All right, last one here, Nick.
Hey, Raufeon, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
How do you see this fight playing out this Friday?
I feel like I'm gonna kind of outwork him. I'm gonna push the pressure. I'm gonna be like in his face the whole time. So I don't see him lasting past the second round.
All right. Thanks for the time, Raufeon. Good luck on Friday. We are now being joined by Derek Anderson. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Donna, your line is now live.
Derek, I suppose the obvious first question is, how are you feeling now that this fight is finally looking like it's going to happen with Michael Venom Page?
Like it's meant to be.
It has been on the docket, what, 2 or 3 times at this stage. Are you still in that sort of mode where you're like, I won't believe it until I'm actually making that walk on Friday night?
No, I mean, the first time he pulled out, I don't know what the hell, but second time that was my mistake. I mean, like I was hurt, but I'm a tough guy. Maybe I could have done it anyway. I was in really great shape, but I just couldn't really train. But that was my thing. And then this time I'm making it happen. So, I mean, as long as he makes it happen, we're good.
This is a gigantic fight. It's a fight that's been booked to main event, a big arena in the UK. You've got a lot of big fights on this card. The Peter Queally fight was also booked to main event in arena, and Rumble Johnson could easily do it. The actual main event, Sergio Pettis. How do you feel about your placement on this card? You're on the main card. You're on Showtime for probably one of the biggest cards Bellator's ever put on.
That's fine, man. I don't need to be the main event. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm on that card fighting this guy, you know what I mean, for a good payday. And this is the next step for my career, man. And it's going to be good for me.
Tony, go ahead.
Hi, Derek. Hope you're well. Obviously, we just alluded to the fact that this fight's been in the books, made a few times already. How different are you today as a fighter than you was back in May 2017 when the first fight was originally due to go down?
Just older, more mature, confident. When I was younger, it wasn't that I had a lack of confidence. I was just didn't ever think about confidence as a thing. I just like to fight, and I still like to fight, but now I know I'm good, so I get to be confident.
And Venom Page's last fight was obviously a decision win. What did you take out of that fight, and did you see things in there that you're keen to explore come fight night at the weekend?
Yeah, like it looks like the guy was a little patient on him, and Michael likes it when the guy comes after him, and I'm not scared to go after him, but maybe a little patience is a good idea.
Thank you, sir.
Patchy, go ahead.
Hi there, Derek. So Bellator have introduced rankings, and being a Bellator veteran yourself, were you surprised with the ranking that you were given of 6? Because I feel like I don't know, a few people that I've spoken to were quite surprised that you were only 6 in the rankings, given the level of competition that you've fought.
No, I mean, I still got to make my statement in welterweight. You know what I mean? So this is it right here. I'll be number 1 after this, and then hopefully get a title shot.
Okay, thank you, Derek.
All right, Dylan.
Hey there, Derek. Appreciate you making some time here.
Of course, brother. Thank you.
I'm just kind of curious because you're talking about how, this could have certain title shot stakes. Is that something you're going off of just based on the rankings and everything? Or has Bellator communicated to you expressly that this is a title eliminator bout?
Going off of it with the rankings, and then, I hear he's talking about the same thing, and yeah, I mean, I do it right, and I don't think they're going to be able to deny me the shot.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Callum.
With you being the underdog in this fight, winning, what would be the celebration be?
Just get back home, take a little break, and enjoy myself, man, and get back to it when as soon as I get the call, probably as soon as I feel good to get back in the gym. Either way.
Gareth Davies.
Good evening, Derek from London. How are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And I think the last time I saw you was in Italy, where you didn't get your fight. You're not looking too happy today, I must say, but I'm sure you really are. There you go. You talked about, I'm fascinated what you said just now about being patient in the fight with Michael Venom Page. But I suppose in a way, you have to be patient, but really look for openings against him as well. Because if you're too patient, it allows him too much space to operate, one would assume.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I will take my opportunities, and they will be there.
When you're preparing for an unusual freestyle kickboxing stylist, which is what he is, rather, and it's a very unusual style like Raymond Daniels. With those guys, people often make the mistake of giving them too much space to get into momentum. How do you train techniques for someone like that, it's a very unusual style in MMA?
I'm just gonna do my thing. You know what I mean? Like apparently it's a little unusual just because I'm so aggressive. I thought we all became fighters to stand in the middle and bang it out like rock'em sock'em robots, but that's not what everyone's here to do. So, I'm pretty good at that, and I'll take my space, and I'm gonna turn it into that. He's gonna have a hard time.
Give us your prediction then for Friday night.
Thinking I knock him out.
Well, you couldn't get more specific than that. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to seeing it. Sorry we can't be there at the moment.
That's all right. Thank you, guys.
Santiago.
Hi, Derek. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. We spoke each other after your incredible head kick knockout win. You told me that you didn't close the book on 155 yet, but that you really enjoyed not cutting the weight. Now you are back for your third welterweight fight in a row. Is welterweight going to be your home for a while now?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think lightweight's really much of an option anymore. I guess I probably could if I really, really wanted to after a while, but I feel fine at welterweight and I'm ready to make a statement.
This fight is at a catchweight. You are a lightweight coming up, so I figure it's not because of you that this fight is at a catchweight. Does the extra 5 pound make a difference in your opinion?
Nah, it's all right. I got a little bigger for the fight too, so whatever.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Michael?
Hello, Derek. This is Mike from Mike Owens Media. I just wanted to know, do you have any specific reason as to why a couple of Michael Venom Page's last fights have been at a catchweight?
Apparently he's having a problem making weight. You know what I mean? I don't know how he's planning on wanting to be a champion. I mean, at 175 every time.
Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Derek, how are you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I can't complain. And I would love to know, for this specific fight, how has training been for you? And has it also been harder to train with everything that's been going on in the world?
Yeah, I figured it out. And it's been a normal camp. You know what I mean? Just doing what I do, man. And, I'm a pretty nasty guy myself, so.
All right, last one here. Mason?
Hi, Derek. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mason?
I'm doing very well. Obviously, you're fighting the cocky Briton, Michael Venom Page. As much as he runs his mouth to say, he's a very talented fighter, as we all know. How do you see yourself getting the victory?
I don't care about what he thinks, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a rock'em sock'em robot, man. And he could try to hit me and stuff. I'm just gonna get his time in, and I know what I'm doing just fine. So he's gonna have a big problem.
All right, Derek. Thanks for the time and good luck on Friday.
Thanks, man. You guys have a
Okay, we are now being joined by Peter Queally. We'll begin with a few questions from our media. Donna, your line is now live.
Hi, Peter. How's it going?
Hi, Donna. How are you?
Not too bad. You were speaking to Virgin Media Sport earlier about your corner situation. Could you enlighten us about what exactly is happening? Of course, these travel restrictions have stopped John Kavanagh coming over. Could you tell us who's going to be in your corner on Friday night?
Yeah, so travel restrictions, as you said, have kind of scuppered my corner plans a bit. John is not dead in the water yet, but it's unlikely, I would say, he's coming over. Assail Ajoud was supposed to come from Paris, and again, travel restrictions have stopped him. But I always have backup done it. So I've got James Gallagher flew in from California yesterday. So he's here for me now. So James will be cornering me 100%.
Of course, we saw Pedro Carvalho had pretty similar issues when he fought last time out. What do you think this is? How do you think this is going to affect you going into this one? Because this is undoubtedly the biggest fight of your career, where there's so much on the line against an opponent the likes of which you really haven't been in there with before. So has it been a distraction, or are you laser focused at this point on getting Patricky Pitbull out of there early?
Yeah, it's not going to affect me. I've James there. James is one of my best friends with a long time. That's really what you want when you go into a fight. You want when your friends with you. It's like when you were a kid and you were going for a fight in a playground. As I said to Virgin Media Sport, you want your friends to show up with you. They can't really help you, but you want them to walk out with you and be there for you. I'll have that. So I'm fine. I'll be fine in that fight. It's not really going to affect me at all, Donna.
Thank you very much, Peter, for that. One more for me, if I could, about this rivalry, Pitbulls versus SBG. You're finally getting to have this fight. There's been the one before with like I said, Pedro against Patricio. How do you feel now about Patricky Pitbull? It's been so long since that famous press conference in New York where you faced off. You were supposed to fight around October last year. It's such a different circumstance now. There won't be any fans. It was supposed to be a packed arena. How do you feel now about your opponent, Patricky Pitbull?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, it's been a long time. I think when I see him now at the weigh-in, I might spark it all again, maybe. So we'll see how that goes. But like you forget all that kind of thing that happened in New York. It's been so long. So, but really, what I'm focused on is not even this rivalry thing anymore, and our personal differences or whatever is there with us. It's the implications of a win here is what I'm focused on. That has taken over for me. Like if I beat him, I'm fighting his brother and it'll be for the belt. That's just a fact. That's how it's going to go. So this is the biggest fight of my career. It has the biggest implications of any fight that I've ever had in my career. So that's what I'm laser focused on.
Dylan.
Hey there, Peter. Appreciate you making some time.
Thanks. No problem.
I was just kind of curious because just based off what you were saying there, it doesn't seem like the team feud dynamic is as much of a factor leading into this one. Because I spoke to Patricky before this fight, and it was seeming like the team versus team dynamic was something that he was maybe hoping Bellator would focus on more as kind of like a juicy storyline component almost. Does it factor at all into the prep for this fight at all for you?
No, it does. It does factor in. It is important. But what I was saying is, the reward for beating him has kind of become bigger than that for me, but it's probably because of that feud that I'm going to get that reward, if you get what I mean. Because if I beat him, of course his brother has to avenge that. Now it'll be 1-1 between SPG and Pitbull team, and it'll be up to me and Patricio to settle that score then. But it'll be for the belt. It'll be a big fight for my career. So it is very important, the team dynamic thing that's been going on. And well done to them. It's first blood to them. They beat Pedro. My hat's off to them. They were very classy in their response after that win as well. So fair play to them with that. They could have really rubbed it in there, but they didn't. So, I'm just looking forward to getting in there with Patricky now and having this fight. I feel like I've been preparing for this fight for my whole career almost at this stage. It's been coming so long.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, man.
No problem.
All right, Gareth.
Good evening, Peter. Gareth Ed Davis from London. How are you?
What's up, Gareth? Good to hear from you.
You too. You're looking fine, Fettel, I must say. Tough as ever. I've got to ask you, because traditionally, I think there were some scraps between the Pitbull brothers and opponents, and not even their opponents, in some hotels in days gone by, or in times gone by. You're in a very small bubble there in Mohegan Sun. Have you been snarling at each other in the corridors yet or not?
I haven't come across him, believe it or not. Any of them. About 30 minutes ago, I actually bumped into their coach in the hallway. And I called him coach. I fist pumped him because that's what you do to a coach. You respect our coach. That's it. So there's nothing there with him and me anyway. So, but I haven't come across Patricky or Patricio yet. So we'll see when we do meet each other tomorrow, maybe.
You entered into the legends of fans and the legends of MMA annals in Bellator when you came back after being down against Ryan Scope your last time out in November or September 2019 against Ryan Scope for an amazing victory. And I was there when you were getting mobbed by the fans as you were leaving afterwards. You couldn't get away, if you recall.
I remember.
Yeah, it was a brilliant night. Everybody knows how resilient you are. Two things, really. What does it mean to you to be able to fly up the rankings from nowhere to number 2? I cannot understand why you're not in the top 10 rankings. Personally, I think it's a disgrace. I'd like your opinion on that. And secondly, do you have, having gone through that fight with Ryan Scope, do you have the game plan to beat this guy because you've been into deeper waters than perhaps he's ever been?
Yeah, to answer your first question, I do agree with you. It's a disgrace I'm not in the rankings. The only logical thing I can think of is that my last fight was actually switched to a 170-pound fight at the last second on a request of Ryan Scope. So perhaps they're just, I don't know, maybe they said I didn't fight at 155 for my last fight, but it was a 155 fight. We were both on the weight and this got changed last second. So listen, what matters is what the Bellator brass think, and they think I'm in the rankings because I'm fighting the number 2 guy. Why would you have a guy who's not in the rankings fighting the number 2 guy? So that says it all. To answer your question with the deep waters, yeah, of course. That's how I think this fight is going to be decided. To be honest, Gareth, is who can take more. I think that's what this is going to boil down to. I plan to get in front of him and bite down on my mouthpiece and go at him. And I know he's going to do the same thing because that's what he always does as well. So I think it's going to be a case of who can take what the other guy can dish out and who can last longer. And that's exactly how I want this fight to go, and that's exactly how I think it will go.
Well, good luck in getting the W and then calling out for the belt, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Gareth.
Cheers.
Kachi?
Hi there, Peter. I just wanted to quickly ask you, this, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first fight in the US, right? You haven't fought in the US? Yes. And this is also your first fight since the pandemic started, right?
Correct.
Yep. So does that factor in? Like, how are you feeling going into that? Because obviously it's very, very different from a huge Dublin crowd, where you have a lot of fans who love you and can celebrate your win. Like, how does it feel going into this fight with all of these, I'd say like little pressure, a bit of pressure going into this fight, right? Especially against a guy like Pitbull.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm venturing into the unknown a little bit, because what I'm used to, as you know, is 10, 12,000 people screaming zombie, and it's just a mad scene when I fight normally. So that's what I've been used to. Whereas this time it's going to be in an empty arena, and Kiefer was actually telling me about it. He said, be prepared for that. You'll hear Big John talking and all, and just, he said it was just weird when he did it. So I'm expecting that, and I'll be ready for that. You just have to deal with these things and get on with it. It'll be new for Patricky as well. So it'll be new for the pair of us. So I'm expecting it to be kind of strange and a new feeling, but whatever, I'll get on with it and I'll adapt and I'll overcome it.
Thank you, Peter. Good luck in your fight.
Thank you.
All right, Andy.
Hiya, Peter. Andy Hickey with Guts and Glory here. Neighbour yours down in Tipperary. Just wanted to ask you, you've been one of the biggest beneficiaries of Bellator's concerted efforts in the European market. And recently we've seen a spate of Irish-based fighters released, a lot of your SBG stablemates. And what's the general feeling within SBG to what could be the end of the Euro series? I know it's been hugely received by the fans and fighters over here. So how do you guys feel about it?
Honestly, I don't know anything about it. I haven't spoken to anyone about the end of the Euro series. That's nothing I've heard about that. So it's probably not a great answer for you, but I just don't know enough about that to go commenting on it now. I'm not sure what Bellator's plans are for the Euro series. I think when COVID is done and dusted, they'll probably reassess that. It's a great market for them. You see the Irish show, there's nothing like it on earth. I doubt they'll drop that. That wouldn't make any sense. So I expect him to be back in Dublin, hopefully this year or early next year.
Hopefully with you headlining against Patricio for the lightweight title. But you alluded there, this is your first fight in America. You're no stranger to hostile territory with your time in FNG. Regarding the Irish crowd, how did that make you feel? You were so passionately supported by us over there. Even you fought fellow Irishman Miles Price, and it was quite clear that we were vehemently in support of you, and your walkout has gained legendary status. It must be a nice feeling to be so welcomed by your own people.
It's the biggest accomplishment you can have as a fighter, almost in my opinion, is that where your country is behind you and loves you. It doesn't happen to many. When you really look closely at people's fights and their careers, and if they really garner support and capture people's imagination back home. So I feel very privileged to be one of a very few people in Ireland that has done that. You could count them on one hand. It's less than one hand how many people have done that. So it's just really important to me. That's always what I wanted, was to fight in a way that people really enjoy. This is what I say to myself every time I fight, and it'll be no different to this. I'm almost not even focused on winning or losing here. I focus on just the fight being crazy and for people watching to just be after it's over. And normally when I do that, I fight very well. So that's what I focus on, and that's where I think the fans have kind of gravitated towards me, and they cheer for me and respect me.
We'll take a couple more. Lenny?
How's it going, Peter Queally? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Lenny Marsh from Miami News here and Unhinged. I just want to ask you a similar question that you received early on. I wanted to ask, are we still going to hear that infamous zombie by the Cranberries? Are you still going to walk out by that?
Of course, it'll be a bit eerie and quiet, but you'll hear it.
Hey, maybe when you're coming down the walk, you'll be singing the zombies instead of the crowd.
I doubt it, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be still pretty cool because it's a kind of an eerie song. And I think the quiet arena, it'll be quite cool as well. So I'll be 100%. I've used this song all my career. So I won't be changing it now just because there's no crowd.
Yeah, I just want to top up as well with the first fight being in COVID, first fight you've had since the whole situation, the pandemic. What's it been like, being, in that, that quarantine backstage waiting for a fight? And is it been weird?
What's the question again? Sorry.
So this is the first time you fought during the COVID and the whole pandemic. What's it been like, being quarantined in the backstage, in the whole bubble, should I call it? What's it been like that in this situation?
Yeah, it's boring. But whatever, you just have to get on with it. It's been boring. The first day I got here, I was in my room for about 30 hours waiting for the COVID test to come back. And then once that came back, it didn't get much better. I'm allowed out of the room now, but just within the grounds of the hotel. So it's kind of boring, but it's just what the way it has to be. So you just get on with it. But it's whatever. It is what it is.
All right, Kobe.
Hey, Peter, this is Kobe with FightFreaks.co. I was wondering, so this was originally booked for October of last year, and I'm wondering how your preparation was affected, because you stated earlier that it feels like you've been getting ready for this forever, and I mean, you kind of have. So do you reset your peak, or do you just work straight through?
I was forced to reset in August last year when I badly broke my hand. So that kind of forced me obviously to take the foot off the pedal, but I did train throughout the first lockdown in the early part of 2020. And it was all in preparation for Patricky. But then I broke my hand. I had about 2-3 months where I couldn't really train. And then I got back on the horse again. So it kind of served as a natural break, which I probably needed. If I was being honest, that you can't train at that intensity for that long and expect good things to happen. So even though it wasn't a good thing, I wish it didn't happen. It probably served as a kind of a natural break in my training that I can kind of re-peak, as you said, and be ready for this fight.
Last one, Harry.
Hey, Peter, Harry Mack from the Bookies Basement. So I just wanted to know, you're a slight betting underdog at plus 210 going into this fight. So I just wanted to know, do you feel like the odds makers are underestimating you at all?
I think it's a 50-50. That's what I think. But I understand why they have me as an underdog. Patricky has beaten some really good fighters. He has more fights than me. He's slightly more experienced than me. So it's completely understandable. I'm not offended or anything that they have him as the favorite. But I think if I was putting odds on it myself, it's a 50-50. I think it's going to be an extremely tough fight for both of us. And that's my honest opinion on this. I know I can beat him, but I'll need to fight very well to beat him.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate the time. Good luck on Friday.
No problem.
Okay, we are now being joined by Lorenz Larkin. Once again, we'll be in with a few questions from the media. Nick Baldwin, your line is now live.
Hey, Lorenz. Obviously, you're not fighting Costello Van Steedens on Friday. You're fighting Rafael Carvalho. What did you have to do to adjust to the new opponent?
Is Nick Baldwin with who?
With the score.
Oh, okay. You said what I have to do to adjust him?
Yeah, to the new opponent.
I mean, Castillo is I believe he's orthodox, and it's just a complete change. You know what I mean? But I just looked at it, man, as like I've been in this game for a good time, you know, a good amount of time, and if I can't deal with changes like this, then you know what am I doing here? You know, so it's like it is a short notice opponent. He is totally different. He is an ex-champion, but it's like this is what I got into fighting for. You know what I mean? To test myself and to do all these type of things. So it's like it's a big change, but it's one of those things where it's like if I can't handle this, then what am I doing with myself? What am I doing here?
And this is your first middleweight bout since 2014. Now, you've already said you're going back down to 170 after this fight, but can you talk a little bit about why this one is happening at 185?
You know, we in the past, you know, we kind of had some problems scheduling fights and things like that. And so I just, when I came in, I didn't want to do with all the necessary, like as far as cuts and things like that. Getting down, I just wanted to come back and come into a lax situation as far as my weight cut and everything else, and just get all the dust off me and then go back down to welterweight.
How do you think you'll perform at 185 or back at 185 compared to your time at 170?
Good. I'm not going to tell you bad.
Kobe?
Hey, Lorenz, this is Kobe McKinley with FightFreaks.co. Yeah, so you mentioned so Costello Van Steedens was somewhat of an up-and-comer, and now you've switched to a former Bellator champion, a weight class up from where you normally compete. Do you feel like a win here, even though an unexpected booking does a little bit more to propel you up those Bellator rankings than had you faced Van Steedens?
Well, I don't know. My thing is, you know, they're both tough. But you know, Rafael is a former champ and tough guys and a lot of guys on his resume. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even too worried about. I'm worried. I'm not. How can I say? I'm not worried about. I don't care, but I do care about the rankings. But as far as what it does for me after this fight, I don't really care as far as where it puts me.
Dylan?
Hey there, Lorenz. Appreciate you making some time.
No problem.
So just to kind of get a sense of where you're at, is the goal...
Is Dylan from where?
Pardon?
Sorry. Dylan from where?
My MMA News.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was kind of wondering just to get a sense of where you're coming from. It seems like the focus is on like capturing gold and advancing more at middleweight. So are you going to maybe take certain fights at middleweight, just maybe if the fights at 170 don't materialize quickly enough, I guess?
No. What I will say is this is just like a one-off, but as far as Castillo, he's been great. Well, the thing is, I have a lot of respect for him because you know, he let me know once when he got hurt, and he was real transparent about everything. He messaged me, and I told him, you know, I was looking forward to that fight too because he's an exciting fighter, and I've watched his fight. So I told him, you know, and I'm sorry to hear that you're hurt. You know, hopefully you get back all 100%, and if we can, you know, make something happen in the future, then, you know, I'm totally down to do it, you know. So that's what I did say to him. But yeah, as far as me staying at 185, this is just a one-off. But I did tell him, you know, if we can make something happen in the future, like we'll still make that fight happen.
Yeah, and then a contest that's a bit later on in the card from where you're at is Michael Page against Derek Anderson. And then obviously we have the upcoming title fight between Lima and Amasov. Are you going to be checking out those fights pretty closely, you're thinking?
No. Why would I check out those fights? You are talking to an unranked fighter. I'm nowhere near the number one spot. So I'm just going to be hanging out.
Simon, go ahead.
Hey, Lorenz, Simon Romero from Behind the Grind. When I was looking through your career, you actually beat Jorge Masvidal by split decision. Can you give me your thoughts on his recent title fight against Usman?
I'm pumped for Masvidal. You know, he's making really good money. He deserves it, and you know, it just that fight didn't go his way. You know, that's what happens in the fight game. But I'm excited for him. I'm happy that he's doing good.
And my second question for you is, you went on a 13-fight tear in your early career. You're now back to your winning ways on a 4-fight win streak. Was there anything you changed at all to do so, to go back on that 4-fight win streak?
No, just keep fighting.
Tony, go ahead.
Hi, Lorenz. Hope you're well. Just wanted to question, given how long you've been in the game, how do you continue to stay motivated?
Who's this and where are you from? Sorry.
I'm Tony from the UK.
Oh, he's just from
Tony, do you mind saying your outlet for us?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. TQ's Views.
Oh, okay.
YouTube.
All right. You know what, man? For me, I don't know if it works for anybody else, but when I'm not in camp, or like, I try to stay away from MMA. So I mean, this is just what I do. So when I'm not training, I don't want to talk about MMA. I don't want to watch MMA. You know what I mean? I'll tune in for some exciting fights that I think, but as far as that, I don't even want to. If you didn't know I fight, you wouldn't know I fought. If you met me somewhere, because I don't talk about it. I stay far away from it. And so then when I come back, I miss it. So I think has helped me out a lot.
All right, Donna.
Lorenz, just the one from me. Sorry, Donna Corby with MMA Island. Just the one from me, it's maybe a bit of an out there one, but there was this legendary story over here in Ireland where I'm based about a sparring session you had one time at SPG with an interesting character named Richard Queally. Could you tell us the true story of what went down that day? Because he claims he beat you up. You claim, I think I read somewhere that's not necessarily the case. Could you settle this once and for all, what happened that day?
Yes, I will tell you exactly what happened, and I'll keep it 100% real with you. I was in Manchester for a buddy of mine's fight. And I got offered a last minute seminar. So I went down to seminar in Dublin. So I went down to the seminar. The gentleman that booked me for it told me if I wanted to move around with the guy. So I was like, yeah, I'll move around. This is not in the seminar, though. This is like after the seminar was done. So I just getting some training in. So this guy comes in. At the moment, he was cool. He was really respectful, but he told me, he was like, yeah, man, you know, I don't know how much I can give you, because I went out the night before and was drinking, you know, which is, I was like, okay, you know, I don't care. I wasn't even in camp. That was like, might've been when I was like in free agency. I think it was when I was in free agency. So, you know, I was just moving around with him. There's nothing that like, it was me just literally just working with him. He had a hangover from the night before. So I just moved around with him a little bit. We did a couple rounds, got a sweat, and then chilled out after that and start talking. Lo and behold, I see something like, yeah, I beat him up and blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? So, I mean, I just chalked it up to somebody trying to get a little clout. And, get his name out there. But we all seen the devastating outcome of that when he, so I don't even know if he's even fighting anymore, if he's working at a McDonald's. I don't know. So we see where I'm at. Where's that guy at?
All right. Our next question comes from the line of the MMA Locker Room.
MMA Locker Room.
Hey, what's going on, friends? It's MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio. I'm a local here at Long Beach, California, so I've been following your career. You started off at light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight. Oh,
heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Went all the way down the line, Strikeforce, UFC, fought in Japan at Ryzen. Now you're at Bellator. I mean, you did pretty good for a kid coming up from Riverside, right?
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I have to say is this: you're a true legend when it comes to MMA. I feel like you don't give the respect that you deserve out there. Only thing missing to cap off your career for me is a championship belt. How do you feel about that?
True, man. You know, that's the goal. You know, that and making a lot of money in the sport. To when I walk away from it, you know, I walk away from it. You know, I stop when I want to stop. I don't want to be one of these guys that are old trying to take a paycheck. Like that's never the plan. So, you know, yeah, that's the goal. You know, get the title shot and win some gold. And that's it, man. And make some money, walk away, and live my life.
Our last question comes from the line of Mason Shatwell. Go ahead, Mason.
Hi there, Lorenz. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How are you doing today?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing very well, my friend. I just wanted to say your 4 wins under the Bellator banner have come by way of decision. Do you think we're going to see a stoppage on your half in this fight?
That's the plan. That was the plan 3 fights ago. You know, it just how things happen. You know, it can be decisions, it can be knockouts, it can be a submission. You know, it's just, I think every fighter wants a quick knockout. So, you know, that's always the plan.
All right. Thanks for the time today, Lorenz, and good luck on Friday.
All right.
Next up, we have Sergio Pettis. We are now being joined by Sergio Pettis. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Mason, your line is now live.
Hi, Sergio. This is Mason from the Sports Sesh podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I can't complain. I just wanted to ask, your brother Anthony has been a champion in a major organization, and obviously now you have the chance to do that also. Have you always had that in goal straight from the get-go to be a major organization world champion?
Yeah, I feel like if you come in the sport and you don't have the goal to be a champion, or you're just fighting for no reason, I'm here to, obviously make a legacy for myself, build my name up, and get some belts of my own. My brother's got 2 already, and yeah, I love one on my waist as well.
Last thing from myself, you have fought some very tough guys already, such as Henry Cejudo and Brandon Moreno, to name a few. Having fought these tough guys, do you think this is going to give you an advantage in this fight?
I feel like that's the past. It definitely taught me some things, but I'm fighting a new beast this Friday. Juan Archuleta is a tough opponent. 25-2, his record speaks for itself. It's nothing different, man. I've been fighting good guys my whole life, and I just feel like nowadays I'm ready, mentally, physically, spiritually. Everything's aligned, and I feel like the stars are aligned for me to go out there and be successful this Friday.
Harry, go ahead.
Hey, Sergio. Harry Mack from the Bookie's Basement. So we had talked to... Good. So we had talked to Raufeon earlier about, what it means to him and how special it is for you guys to fight on a card together and kind of share this moment. So I just wanted to know, what does it mean to you to share this, your world title shot with a guy like Raufeon, who considers himself, basically a brother of yours?
Yeah, man, it's been amazing. Me and Rauf grew a lot together. He's taught me a lot of things, and I've taught him a lot of things as well. So it's been a great camp for both of us. Our coach left for a couple of days for a PFL quarantine, so we kind of had to take things into our own hands and take control of our future. So it was great, man. He's a great wrestler, just like the opponent I'm fighting this Friday. So I'll put some different looks for him together for his opponent this Friday as well. So it's been awesome, man. It's been a blessing to work together.
Got it. Well, thank you very much. Best of luck Friday.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, Tony.
Sergio, hope you're well. I just wanted to get your thoughts on, given how big this card is, how does it feel as a bantamweight to be headlining the card against you? You've historically had the heavyweights and the light heavyweights really main event in cards. So the evolution of the smaller weight classes, I guess, how does that feel to be in that weight class and get the respect that you guys deserve?
Oh, it feels great, man. Little guys need that respect too, man. But it's awesome, man. It's a blessing. I've worked hard for this moment. This will be my 10th year fighting professionally. So it's crazy how fast time is flying, and to headline such an amazing card for Bellator, to get to have a title fight as well. So it's everything I could ask for. This is a blessing.
All the best for the weekend.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, Sergio, go ahead.
Sergio.
Hi, Sergio. This is Sergio from Fighter Path MMA. How you doing?
What's up, Sergio? How you doing, brother?
Doing well.
Great name.
I know. We talked a little bit about your brother Anthony. Obviously, not a whole lot of sibling duos have been able to capture world titles. What would it mean to you to be able to, bring that title back home and share a mantle with your brother Anthony?
Oh, it'd be awesome, man. This is everything that I've dreamed of. I've wanted to get a title for myself, and to have a brother who has 2 titles already, it's that much more inspiring to go and get one for myself. To bring one home back to Milwaukee, to my team. I've been with my team for 14 years now. I started when I was 13, so coming up on 15 years, so pretty much more than half my life. It'd be awesome to get that belt for my coach, my teammates at home, my family back at home, and just for the Pettis legacy.
And one last one from me. You talked about your team. Obviously, you have a teammate competing on this card as well with Raufeon Stots. What does it mean to you to have him here sharing the experience with you, going through weight cutting and all that stuff?
Oh, it's awesome, man. It's always awesome to not suffer alone, So this weight cut, we both are going to go through a little bit of a hell tonight, but it's all good. It's been amazing. He's got me ready for this fight. I got him ready for his fight, and it's been a great duo, man. We've gone far together, and I'm excited to see the future for both of us.
Gareth.
Good evening, Sergio from London. Gareth A. Davis here. How are you?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. We spoke to you the other day. You admitted that, well, not admitted, but you were quite plain about it, that it's probably the toughest fight of your career. He's got great momentum at the moment. You are with one of my great favourites in MMA, in Duke Rufus, who's an extraordinary human being. And I know he's been like a father to you. Without asking you your game plan, what's his game plan for you against Juan Archuleta?
You know what? Me and Duke don't have game plans ever for fights, to be honest. We go out there and react. There's fights where I had some game plans for myself, and the fighter reacted so different. So I kind of got away from that. I feel like I just go out there, react, trust my instincts, trust myself, trust my body, trust that God is with me as well. So this one's just the same thing, man. It's against a tougher opponent, 25-2 Juan Archuleta, but same process. I believe in my process.
It's amazing to hear that. And you're basically saying then that, and I think that's what makes you such an exciting fighter, that the most important thing after controlling the nerves and doing all your training is just being present in the fight.
100%. Yeah, being present every day, man. Every day in the gym, every day in the fight, every day in my life. It's very important, to be in the moment. I used to live in the past a lot, or live too much in the future, where I wouldn't be so focused on the present. I'd miss my present blessings. So, yeah, man, I'm very, very at the moment, very in the moment.
We're all very excited. This is going to be an epic fight on Friday night. Thank you very much, and the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Santiago.
Hi, Sergio. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Your Bellator debut was spectacular, with one of the most violent finishes you'll ever see. I know that you have a lot of wins as a flyweight, but you look absolutely incredible at bantamweight. Can you feel that as well, Sergio, that this weight is so much healthier for your body and that you can give more action now during a fight?
Yeah, 100%. Fighting at flyweight, I felt a little fragile. I'm pretty big for the flyweight division, walking around a little bit heavier too. And the older I get, the more my body's becoming more manly. I'm starting to not grow this way, but I'm growing sideways. So I definitely feel like I'm a lot happier as a person, a lot happier as a fighter. And when you fight happy, you do a lot better.
Why isn't your brother yet in Bellator? Does he just want to challenge himself for 1 year in the PFL and then make the jump to Bellator? Having the Pettis brothers both in Bellator would mean a lot to Scott Coker, I think.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I know Ant's got some goals over in the PFL right now, and things, he's got to figure out some things over there, and I'm excited for him to see what happens for his future. And who knows, man, you might see him in Bellator. Ant's got a lot of fight left in him.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Patchy, go ahead.
Hi there, Sergio. I'm a big fan of both you and your brother. I think your brother's probably my favorite fighter of all time. And I just wanted to quickly ask you, because you just mentioned that you feel a bit stronger, you feel a bit better at 135. Can you explain, what the difference is between you now and the version of you that fought Brandon Moreno? Because I know you went 5 rounds in that fight, and this is also a 5-round fight. Like, do you feel like the extra 10 pounds, cutting less weight is going to factor into your performance?
100%. There's the weight cuts are not as tough on my body, which is helping my mentality a lot. Honestly, like I said, at flyweight, I'd fight fragile. I'd go out there, and the extra 10 pounds would do something to me. But like you said, I got experience with a 5-round against a tough Brandon Moreno. On top of that, the elevation in Mexico City is like 7,000 feet. So definitely learned a lot from my flyweight career. I learned a lot about discipline. I learned what it takes to fight at flyweight and to compete with those guys at high levels. So I'm excited to see all the stuff that I've been through in my career show out this Friday. I know it's been a little bit up and down, but I feel like I've learned a lot.
Dylan, go ahead.
Hey there, Sergio. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I'm just noticing per an older Instagram post of yours there, it seemed like, you were talking about the spiritual growth a bit earlier. Like you were talking about on the prior to the Mike Tyson show there, just being in a dark spot mentally, back-to-back losses at the time, but just getting some really just great perspectives from Iron Mike there. I'm wondering how much of that moment there was a catalyst for the present wave of success you're riding.
Yeah, man, it was very important. On top of that, the guy has some strong weed. I was in a whole different world at the time, but just to hear, how, when you think of Mike Tyson, you think of this tough killer, and he is all that, but at the same time, he has a side of him that's very spiritual and very vulnerable, and I feel like a lot of us hide from that. We don't try to be as vulnerable just because we're scared of judgments. We're scared of, social media coming at you and attacking you. But, it just taught me that it's okay to be me. It's okay to have these feelings that I was having, and it's okay to sometimes go through those dark times to see better times. And, it's all just what you take from it, from the lessons you learn throughout your life. It could be negative stuff, but I feel like a lot of the stuff that I went through negative just taught me a lot of positive that I was able to take with me later on in life. And definitely learned a lot on that Tyson podcast, man. It was a very spiritual moment. I was high as hell, to be honest.
Yeah, but you mentioned the high quality weed dynamic there. Are we expecting a bit of a fulfilled celebration here, or is it hard to facilitate that in the bubble?
Oh yeah, it's definitely hard to facilitate that in the bubble, especially in Connecticut as well. So I don't know the rules out here, but yeah, man, usually after the fights, I'm very relaxed. I don't like to drink too much or smoke too much. I just kind of take in the moment, let my body feel how it's supposed to feel. It's a little beat up. So yeah, I feel like the older I got, the more I just kind of relax with my lady and just eat some good food.
Simon?
Hey, Sergio, Simon Romero with Behind the Grind. I have two for you here, but the big question, something I can relate to is having a brother growing up. His name is Anthony as well, but
oh, you know,
having similar interests. So talk us through what it's like having someone who truly is your best friend inside and outside of the cage.
Man, it's been amazing, honestly. The things that I got to see with my brother have been amazing. You know, we've gotten to travel together, train together. We got to lose together and win together as well. So it's we've been through a lot of ups and downs together. You know, when I was younger, me and him didn't get along so well. I was very soft and very shy, where Anthony was the opposite. You know, he was very confident, very outspoken. And, you know, he had to toughen me up. And I'm glad he introduced me to the sport. You know, we were in Taekwondo together. I saw him make his way into MMA. I was about 13 at the time. He was coaching my basketball team too. So, you know, Ant's a man of many talents. He was coaching my basketball team, had to stop to start his MMA career. And I just started training, man. It's kind of got me tougher. I remember my first practice holding pads for him, and he hit me in the stomach really hard, and I started crying. I'm like, oh man, I need to toughen up. You know, I'm ready to be a man, you know, a little bit tougher than who I was before. So it's been awesome, man. It's he's taught me so much in and outside of the octagon.
And the second question I have for you is, his promotion debuts very soon. So how excited are you for that?
Yeah, it's awesome. For the PFL, you're saying?
His promotion coming out soon.
Oh, his promotion. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, his promotion. Yeah, I believe it's coming in November or September. Very excited to see that. You know, we made our way up in the promotions with Duke Rufus. So to have these fighters have an option to fight locally is awesome. It's been a while for some promotions in Milwaukee. So it's about time.
Ronald, go ahead.
This is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. Sergio, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Blessed, man. Doing blessed. And man, just for you, if we could walk back a little bit, you brought up how this journey for you has been close to over 10 years right now to get the title shot. So if you can just reminisce for us, how do you look back on yourself through the journey that you went on to now for the moment for now getting the title shot?
Yeah, man. I feel like early on I was a little kid fighting men, you know, and I learned a lot from that. So I feel like now I'm a man fighting another man, and I'm grown so much from who I used to be. You know, I used to fight a lot of fights very insecure and very, you know, not really trusting myself. Honestly, I didn't trust my skill set. I didn't trust myself as an individual, as a person. And now I'm my own man. I trust myself. I trust my process. I trust my journey, and I'm excited to go out there and see what I could do this Friday.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, one or two more here. Lenny?
How's it going, Sergio? Lenny March from Miami News here, MMA Unhinged. How's it going?
Doing well, brother. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you very much. First question is obviously, you know, your second name, Pettis. It's known throughout the MMA world with your brother. But you feel like as a title win this weekend, do you remember that? Do you feel like that could, you know, supplement your own legacy?
For sure. You know, obviously, I feel like I have built my own legacy. You know, there's a lot of with the media saying, you know, he's the little brother still, which I am. I'm always going to be Anthony's little brother. You know, he's got 5 or 6.5 years on me, regardless. So. You know, I feel like I have built my own legacy, and this Friday would definitely build my own legacy. But you know, I'm not going to stray away from that, man. We came in the sport together. It's always going to be Team Pettis for the rest of my life.
Yeah, two more before I let you go. But you and your brother are on different paths, different organizations. You was in the same organization once upon a time. You both fought on the UFC fight card together. But do you feel like before it's all said and done, before Anthony hangs it up, before maybe you hang it up, that you would like to fight on one more card against with each other?
Yeah, man, I would love to. Honestly, it'd be a blessing. We've had so much fun fighting the cards before. Have sometimes that were rough, sometimes that were great. But, you know, that's how life is. So it would be awesome to definitely get a couple more fights in with Big Bro.
The last question is probably one I didn't really want to ask, is talking about Anthony. I was wondering if you had any thoughts about his debut at PFL.
Yeah, man. You know, it is what it is. It's a sport. You know, it's the sport, and it's also the times in people's lives. You know, I felt like Clay was just, you know, he went out there hungry and, you know, had something to prove. And Anthony, you know, is a new organization. I know how it is to fight in a new organization when you're used to fighting in one for such a while. It's a whole different environment, whole different process. On top of that, they have a 17-day quarantine, which is crazy to me personally. So you can't train with your people that you're usually training with for fights for 17 days. You got to sit out there and get stuck in the bubble. So, it's just times, man. It's, the COVID's crazy, but it's just times, I believe Anthony's going to make the adjustments and do well his next fight.
All right, Breeze.
Hey, Sergio, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. I spoke with your opponent, Juan Archuleta, a few weeks ago, and he had gave me his thoughts on you and your brother. He said you guys are both really cool dudes, and he wants nothing but the best for you other than this bout. Well, can you talk to me about the first time you met and interacted with Juan and your feelings on him as a competitor and a person?
Yeah, man. I met Juan my first fight coming into Bellator. I actually heard rumors that was going to be my first fight. Coming into Bellator is Juan Archuleta. So, I've been prepping to fight him for a while. Been watching him for a while too. He's 25-2. He's fought a couple of my teammates, done really well. And anytime we interacted, it's always been love and respect, man. We don't got no bad blood towards each other. At the end of the day, this is business, and that's when things get interesting. But no bad blood. I believe he's a great competitor, a great person. He's a great father as well. And nothing bad about Juan. Just Friday we both have bad intentions for each other, and there's a paycheck on the line, so that's what it is.
And other than the paycheck, does revenge for your teammates motivate you at all in this bout?
Man, it's the past. I don't fight for anybody else besides myself. So it's more for me, more for my legacy and my W's. Man, I'm hungry for these W's. I don't like losing too much.
All right, Sergio, appreciate the time, man. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Next up is Jose Augusto. All right, we are now being joined by Jose Augusto. We'll begin with a few questions from our media once again. Tony, your line is now live.
Jose, hope you're well. My question was, when it comes to finding out that Yoel had pulled out from the fight, what position was you in terms of training, and also was there any hesitation to taking this fight?
Você recebia ligação sobre lutar no Yoel. Primeiro, qual situação você estava em sua forma? Tipo, você estava treinando fora da forma, e também fale sobre se você tinha hesitação para aceitar a luta.
Eu estava fazendo treinos de manutenção, não estava treinando forte, mas estava ativo. E quando eu soube que tinha a possibilidade de eu lutar, em momento nenhum eu hesitei. Já fiquei empolgado só de talvez. Então, quando eu tive a confirmação, foi uma das melhores notícias que eu pude receber.
So, I was in maintaining my conditioning, wasn't training like I had a fight. I had just fought, so I was just I was active, and when I received the phone call, there was no hesitation whatsoever on my end. Even it was just when it was just a maybe, when it become for certain, it was the best news I've ever received in my life.
Gareth, go ahead.
This is Gareth A. Davis from London calling. Firstly, a question for
What's up,
Jose.
Gareth?
Hey, Jose, listen to this, and please translate it for him into Brazilian, into Portuguese. What's it like, Jose, to be sitting next to the sexiest pimp in the sports world?
Fale sobre como você está sentindo sentando do o fashionista mais sexy dentro do MMA.
O cara é um modelo, é um exemplo de estilo a ser seguido, cara.
He's a model. He's like a style model. Philip Plein all day.
Yes, I like your style, man.
It's actually not Philip Plein. This is actually gifts from Triple C.
Nice.
He wears George Avenue of George, but I'm trying to take a step up above Triple C and go with Philip Plein. But go ahead. Let's get back to Jose.
Yeah, Jose, I have a sneaking suspicion that you, in your mind, know you are fully capable of creating the upset on Friday night. Is that correct?
Ela tem sentido que dentro da sua mente você está sem dúvidas que você pode fazer tipo virada do sul.
Sim, eu estou muito confiante nas minhas habilidades, no trabalho de minha equipe e no meu potencial. Eu vou entregar tudo que eu tenho para sair com a vitória.
Yes, I'm very confident in my abilities to make this upset, and I have all the abilities and weapons to make this come true.
Does it play in your mind as well that if things come off for you, you are going to be fighting for the Bellator light heavyweight title next?
Luta pelo título mundial na terceira luta. No Bellator.
O que passa?
Se você está pensando nisso, você está acreditando que talvez na próxima luta você vai lutar pelo título mundial.
Sim, eu quero dar um passo de cada vez, quero vencer bem o Anthony e depois eu penso no Nenkov.
One step at a time, I'm focused on Anthony. After that, we'll talk about Nemkov. First things first, upset of the century.
I wish you the best of luck, and I really do believe you're going to get the job done on Friday night. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm sorry we can't travel to be there.
And não tem dúvidas que você pode fazer esse.
Okay, thank you.
Vitória.
Donna?
Hi, lads. Jose, could you tell us the story of what happened, how you got the call? I know that there were some fighters who heard that Yoel was out of the fight and they went on Instagram, they texted the promotion. What happened with you? How did you get this fight?
Fala sobre a situação, como você recebia essa ligação, porque era outros lutadores pedindo para essa luta no Instagram. Como você conseguiu pegar essa luta?
O crédito é todo dos meus empresários. Eu pedi a luta, mas por eu só ter uma luta na organização e o Anglicas já ser o reserva, né? Aí eu pensei, cara, ele fez uma luta de 3 rounds há pouco tempo, eu acho que ele não vai ter condições de lutar. Então fiquei sempre... O Anglicas. Júlio Anglicas, eu acho o nome dele. Ele não era o reserva?
He would be the contender in the division.
Aí eu pensei que ele não teria condições de lutar, e fiquei sempre com aquela esperança de talvez dê certo.
So he gives all the credit to his management, his agents, because he did put his name in the hat, but he didn't think he would get it because he only had one fight in Bellator, but he also knew that the other reserve had just fought 3 rounds, and he was hoping maybe he wouldn't be ready to recover. His body hadn't recovered that fast, and he might have a chance. And here we are.
Jose, obviously this is 3 fights away if it were to happen, but have you thought about what you would do with the $1 million if you win this tournament?
Óbvio, mais 3 lutas para receber o milhões. Mas o que você vai fazer? Você pensou nisso com $1 milhão?
Vou cuidar da minha família, vou investir em mim para ser um atleta melhor. E basicamente é isso, dar um upgrade em todas as áreas de minha vida. $1 million, i's coming for you.
He said, I'm going to provide for my family. I'm going to invest more into my professional career. Those 2 things. I'm going to upgrade in all aspects of my life, and I'm coming for that $1 million, baby.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Dylan?
Hey there. Appreciate you guys making some time. I'm just kind of curious because I'm noticing Jose trains out of the Pitbull brothers gym there, and just with Patricky Pitbull readying to compete just before Jose there, I'm kind of wondering how much that, I guess, galvanizes his competitive spirit and motivates him when teammates on the same card as him.
Fala sobre tendo Patricky lutando antes de você. Como isso, o que isso significa para você como motivação, você entrando numa luta depois dele. Né?
Assim como foi muito bom aprender, ver, né, e viver essa semana da luta, ver como Patrício e Patrick se comportam, é uma aprendizagem para mim. Então, na minha primeira luta foi um pouco fácil, eu estava leve, só que eu fiquei ansioso, com vontade de sair da dieta, e para essa luta não, totalmente diferente. Eu estou focado, estou fazendo tudo certo agora, pelo exemplo que Patrício e Patrick dão. Então, hoje eu sou um atleta melhor.
I feel like I'm learning because Patricky's here. The composure that Patricio and Patricky have before the fight. Before my last fight, I was a little bit nervous, although more of it came from wanting to be done with the diet. And this time, I don't have that anxiety now. I'm a lot more calmer. I feel more experience, and I feel the good energy from having Patricky Pitbull here.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, guys.
All right, Liam.
How's it going? This is Liam Zagarian with Everyday Fan Sports. Thank you guys for the time. And Jose, I just wanted to ask, what does it mean for your career to fight someone with the cachet and the respect in MMA circles like Anthony Rumble Johnson has?
O que significa para sua carreira para lutar contra cara com os credenciais que Anthony Johnson tem?
Eu estou bastante empolgado para escrever meu nome entre os grandes. Eu sei que isso aconteceria cedo ou tarde e estou muito feliz que seja cedo.
I'm ready to put my name in stone. I'm grateful for this opportunity and won't be surprised by the result.
Thank you.
All right, Ronald.
My name is Ronald E. Smith from Getting Real. The question I got is that this is going to be, at this moment, the biggest fight of his career. So I would love to know, how does he not let the moment get too big for himself and continue to fight against Johnson?
Você fala sobre você. Ela está perguntando como você está sentindo lutando pelo o maior desafio na sua carreira. Como você está liderando com essa pressão?
Sim.
Mais ou menos.
Eu estou me sentindo muito bem, na melhor fase da minha vida. Eu não estou emocionado, eu estou com os pés no chão e estou ansioso para chegar lá e fazer meu trabalho.
So I feel great. I feel calm. I feel I feel no pressure. I feel my feet are based on the ground, and the only thing I'm anxious to go out there and do my job, get the KO.
Gareth?
Yes, this is London calling again.
Hey,
Pimpy. Right. So, you can get me when you see me. I just want to ask one final thing. It's a serious question, gents. Rumble's been out for 4 years. Is that often a factor with a fighter when they've been out so long that maybe you will be out of the rhythm, the momentum that you actually have?
Como o ritmo que você tem nesse momento, nessa hora.
Sim. Eu acho que o Anthony vai estar muito bem. Ele vai mostrar a melhor versão que ele já mostrou. Mas eu vou aproveitar que eu sou mais jovem, competir mais. Mas eu não espero estar... como é que eu explico? Eu não espero estar e pegar ele fora de ritmo. Não, eu acho que vai ser uma luta muito dura. E eu vou vencer o melhor Anthony Johnson que já esteve nos rings.
Yeah, I don't think he's... I'm expecting the Anthony Johnson be in the best shape of his life. I don't wish him to come in out of rhythm. I want to face the best Anthony Johnson. I feel like my youth, my speed, and my will to win will be the difference in this fight.
Thank you, gents.
All right. Thank you both for the time, and good luck on Friday. Next up, we have Patricky Pitbull. All right. If you have a question for Patricky, please press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. Okay, we are now being joined by Patricky Pitbull. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from the media. Mason, your line is now live.
Hello, Patricky. This is Mason from the Sports Session podcast. I hope you're doing very well today. My question for you is, in your last fight back in 2019, you were coming off a loss. How have you dealt with that loss and made changes to your game?
Quando você lutou em 2019, você perdeu aquela última luta lá no Japão. Como é que você tá agora como um atleta? Como é que você tá diferente?
Nothing changed. I'm the same. I'm still hungry. I'm still excited to back to the cage. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. So nothing changed. It's the same Pitbull, just with the glass.
All right, Kachi.
Hi there, Patricky. So your brother, since you've last fought in Bellator, your brother has gone on to win the lightweight belt. In your opinion, where do you go from here? Because obviously you're not going to fight him. So, in order to cement your legacy moving forward, what are your goals? What are your aspirations?
Agora que, tipo, você tá na mesma divisão, seu irmão é campeão, o que você acha que vai acontecer? Fala mesmo na galera.
Meu irmão quer deixar o cinturão vago, ele já falou mas deixa o cinturão vago com uma condição, que eu lute pelo cinturão. Então, eu acho que não tem muito que ser desvendado não, né? Agora é só o Bellator fazer as coisas acontecerem.
My brother has said that he would vacate the belt, but he's also said, if I'm not going to fight for the belt, that he would be active in the division. Obviously, we can't decide that, but if, he's going to vacate the belt, then obviously me coming off this win against Peter, I would fight, whether it's Brett or whoever for the title next.
All right, Breeze.
Hey there, Pitbull. It's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. So I know like you said, your brother is gonna vacate if you step up. How important is it for you to win your next matchup so your brother doesn't have to avenge another loss of yours?
Não.
Como é que
O final não.
Como é que você está se sentindo que como é que é importante para você ganhar essa próxima luta? Porque senão seu irmão vai ter que lutar de novo contra alguém que já te venceu.
Yes, Friday night is my opportunity to take the chance to fight for the belt. So this don't happen. This shit don't happen. I will make sure that I will fight for the belt after this win. So I'm ready. I'm hungry. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Gareth.
Good evening, Patricky from London. How are you?
Good, my friend. How's it going?
It's very good, thank you. Todo bem, todo bem. Can I ask you, first of all, did you watch Peter Queally's fight with Ryan Scope? And do you feel that this is going to be a very tough, very hard, durable fight?
Assistiu a luta contra
Peter Queally e Ryan Scope.
Isso. E você acha que essa luta vai ser igual? Você acha que essa luta para você vai ser difícil?
Yeah, it's the fight, man. Everything is possible, but I will make sure this shit don't happen. So it's another fight for me. It's another opportunity to take my chance for the belt. So I will do my job 100% perfect. Nothing changed my dream. Nothing changed my chance. Let's go. Nothing. I'm Pitbull. I'm hungry. Let's do it.
Is there any danger, because Peter is not ranked in the top 10 of the rankings, the lightweight rankings, that you underestimate him in any way?
Você acha que tem mais pressão para você porque você tá e ele não?
Yes, I don't like too much because it's the underdog. It's like underdog. So shit hit. Qualquer merda pode acontecer. So I don't like too much. I don't like this idea. I like fight should the guys like Brent Primus and another guys stay in the rank. But I know I'm the Pitbull, I'm the king of chaos, I'm the man.
So are you saying then, Patricky, that he does not deserve to be fighting you then?
He talked too much. He have the opportunity because he talked too much. But maybe because he's from SBG or something like this. But I will smash him. I will beat him as.
Will you enjoy it more beating someone because they are SBG?
Vai gostar mais batendo nele porque ele é SPG? Ou tipo nenhum.
For sure, 100%. Me and my brother will smash everybody from SBG. Just two guys will smash all gym, all team.
Finally, last week in a press conference, a Zoom call that we had with Scott Coker, he did say that if Patricio was still the 155 champion and you were the main challenger, who knows? Could the Pitbull brothers fight each other in a title fight? Because you fought each other hundreds of times as children. Could you even consider fighting each other in a title fight? Silly question, I know, but I'm going to ask.
Só não entendi o final, mas
Se você lutaria contra seu irmão.
I can fight against my brother all time in my house, in the gym, anytime.
But not for the title, no?
No, not for the title.
Go well on Friday night, my brother. Lovely to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, and the last question is from Michael Owens. Michael, go ahead.
Hello, Patricky. This is Mike from Mike Owens Media. If your brother Patricio was to vacate the title and you were to be matched up for a vacant title bout, who would be your most likely adversary in that fight?
Quem é que você quer? Quando o Patrício largar esse cinturão, quem é que você quer lutar contra?
Brent Primus is the name, is the guy. I think is the former champion is number one in the rank. So I think these guys have the opportunity to fight with me because I think me is number one from their rank. So let's think after this fight what's happened.
All right,
I'm excited. I'm ready.
All right, thank you both for the time. Good luck on Friday, Patricky.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now being joined by Michael Venom Page. Once again, we are going to begin with a few questions from our media. Join us virtually today. Harry Mack, your line is now live.
Hey, Michael. Harry Mack from the Bookies Basement. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good. Hope you're good.
Thank you. So you debuted as the #1 contender in Bellator's welterweight rankings, but then they actually wound up flipping you and Yaroslav. So I just wanted to know, neither of you fought. So in your opinion, why do you think that was?
That would be a wild guess from me. It's obviously something that I did notice. It is what it is. I don't know. They say it's obviously it's an impartial. I guess they keep every time there's an event, they can keep kind of sitting back at the table and rediscuss what they had previously discussed. But I don't see why something like that would change, seeing as neither one of us have been active. I don't know. It's like I said, it's your guess is as good as mine.
Fair enough. Well, best of luck on Friday.
Thank you so much.
Breeze, go ahead.
Hey, Michael, this is Breeze with the MMA Breeze. I just wanted to ask, you obviously have created a lot of highlight reels for us. How are you looking to finish this next bout, and how would it be turn out ideally in your mind?
Ideally, it'd be the fastest knockout in Bellator history. I don't get paid for overtime, so I want to go in there and just finish the job real quick. I'm gonna fight with a slightly different intensity level for this fight. So yeah, I do want to go in there and just get I want it to be a bank robbery, in and out, a quick job. So for me, it's all about what comes afterwards. I want to stay fresh, stay fit, and then just get straight back in again after this fight.
Gareth.
Good evening, Michael from London. How are you?
I'm good, Gareth. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, thank you. Interestingly, you used the analogy of you want to get a bank robbery, obviously without anyone seeing you, like a ghost, get in and out, and he's asleep. Is having been there with you at your last fight, do you think that you didn't explode enough in your last fight, and you weren't as aggressive as you normally are? Is that the reason for that?
No, not at all. It's more based on the opponent I have in Derek Anderson for my wanted to doctor my style slightly. But in the last fight, I wish I could have exploded. I wish I could have shown you guys a lot more. But as I said, the canvas was extremely slippery. It's actually something I'm skeptical of with this fight. As the last Bellator, when I was watching, near enough every athlete that did a head kick fell on the floor. Their back leg slipped away. So it's something that I'm cautious of for this one, and I've actually taken precautions during training. We actually had to make our canvas slippery and doctor my style to see if I can kind of cope and adjust and still be MVP. So I've made those adjustments just in case, but hopefully I go in there and the canvas is nowhere near as slippery as it was, and I can actually be myself.
Are you ever allowed to go in and put your feet on I know it's COVID, so you're probably not at the moment, but generally, are you allowed to go and test the canvas before you fight?
Yeah, of course, but it differs. So you can go in there beforehand when it's dry and nothing's happened, no one's cleaned it, or they cleaned it prior. But when there's bodies and there's sweat and people have been rolling all around it, and then they spray it again to clean it and so on and so forth, it gets, sometimes there's just random patches where it just feels like an ice rink in there. And like I said, it was the main card that I watched. So I'm assuming, again, from the bodies and the people that were in there prior, that's the reason why, people are falling over and slipping still. But there is definitely something that they're doing. I mentioned this years and years ago, I think when I fought Nashon Burrell, and because again, I couldn't explode as well as I would have liked to in that fight. And I think it was probably about a year later that one of the Bellator staff members actually said they went into the cage and they realized, it was something that they were spraying on the canvas, and that's why it was slippery. But it took them ages to for it to kick in. So I feel like it'll probably be the same thing, regardless of me saying these things and regardless of the evidence there of people slipping. And I think it's just a bad look on, for their own athletes. I feel like they should try to, you want your athletes to look the best they possibly can. So this is something that they should look into.
Not completely overlooking Derek Anderson, because obviously everybody's a competitor in there. Will you be looking to be calling out to fight the winner of Douglas Lima and Amosov if you get through this on Friday night?
Honestly, I've switched off. I don't care anymore. I've been calling him out ever since my fight with him. Obviously, I'm not entitled to have it straight away. Fair enough. But I've been very active, and he's had, 2 fights? This being his 3rd fight. I've had 4 or 5 fights. I don't even know. So yeah, I don't believe he's in any rush to be back in the cage with me. So my job is to just stay active. I couldn't care less anymore. I just want to win this fight. Whoever's available next, Bellator line them up, and I jump in back as soon as possible.
Finally, Michael, I think you were on the BBC the other day. Was it Match of the Day?
Yeah, Match of the Day. Yeah.
Just to explain to anyone listening in America, obviously Match of the Day is the biggest soccer show in the UK. What does it mean to you that mixed martial arts, Bellator, yourself, are now live on the BBC iPlayer, which is free and available to 70 million homes live?
It's amazing, especially for the UK, Europe. I think it's unbelievable. Even had they posted out one of my teammates, Norbert Naveni, and it's just good to see, like, for him, up and comer. Is definitely going to be taking that middleweight division by storm. It's just great to have that kind of platform to be pushed on, where we never had that before. When I first came in, we didn't have those kind of things, especially in the UK. Is mainly for the States. I just hope that this partnership stays. Again, we've seen a lot of partnerships with Bellator come and then go, and I'm hoping I think this is a great partnership, especially Showtime as well. I think they can do a lot in this with these 2 partnerships, and hopefully, it stays.
Donna?
Hi, Michael. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the service. I'm sure you're obviously a big boxing fan as well, and this has been a big talking point this week with Billy Joe Saunders. He was asking for assurances on the size of the ring. This is a little bit different, is the issue that you have with Bellator. But did you ask the promotion for assurances that there would be a fix to that problem? Because stylistically, you of all people are the one who would suffer the most from having a slippery canvas. And actually, someone like Derek, weirdly enough, might actually benefit from having that sort of little advantage, you would say. Did you talk to people in the promotion, people in the matchmaking side, and say, we need to sort out this issue with the canvases? Because I did notice those issues with the people you mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. It's I've indirectly had these kind of conversations. Hopefully, now that I'm here, I can actually speak to them directly. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a fix for this event, which is why I took the precautions, that I have with my teammates and my coaches. I actually feel it's ridiculous that I even have to do things like that, making my own canvas slippery, which is incredibly dangerous, by the way. But yeah, it's my coaches have reached out, management has reached out, and again, I feel like it falls on deaf ears sometimes, and this is some of the issues that I've had in the past. So hopefully, now that I'm here, once it's all said and done, and I've finished the fight, I can sit down with the people that can actually make these kind of decisions, and we can actually get things changed. Because as you say, for my style especially, it just does not help. And I love putting on a show. I genuinely cannot do, as you saw in my last fight, I turned into an everyday MMA fighter. My guard was up. I was plodding around the place. I still managed to find the win, as you do. That's my mentality. You got to figure it out. But I would prefer to fight with all my tools intact, being able to utilize them all.
This is your first time back in the States since that fight with Douglas Lima, although atmosphere-wise, it's probably going to be more like your fight in Japan, I would imagine, because there's no fans in the building. I've watched a lot of your interviews recently. You were on the Energized show the other day. You were on you had a big long interview on your own YouTube channel. I suppose it's worth asking point blank, straight up, are you happy with Bellator?
At present, no. But it's not something that can't be rectified. Like I said, I'm happy to have a conversation. I deal with. I'm very forward, and I'm very honestly speaking. So I've had there's been numerous amount of issues that I've kind of seen on Bellator that I'm not happy with. But I genuinely believe, and I had a conversation with a good friend of mine. I genuinely believe it's because I'm a fan of Bellator. You know, I feel take myself out of Bellator, whether I'm a competitor here or not. I genuinely believed in that show, in the organization, in what they're doing, what Scott Coker has been doing. Up until recent times. This is why things are kind of being a bit more irritable. So again, these things can be changed very quickly with just a simple conversation. We sit down, have a conversation, even if it's just a case of just me getting it off my chest to these people, and then just moving forward. But I like the staff here and everybody that are here in the back office that you guys don't see, you probably all know, but you don't see like on camera. They're all amazing. They're all great. They look after us really well. But then it's just certain things that I see for the promotion that I feel like they could just be better.
Damon Martin. Damon, go ahead.
Hey, Michael. In terms of what you're talking about, like your complaints, things that are going on with Bellator, can you get a little bit more specific in terms of the promotion side? Is it just you personally, or is it the organization as a whole as what you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I feel it's the organization as a whole. Again, I'd prefer to have the conversation with Bellator first. Again, I've already kind of said my piece in my, a few interviews that I've had. I prefer to have a conversation now that I'm here. Have a conversation with the guys at Bellator, and then from there, if I still feel a way, you'll definitely hear about it. Because like I said, I'll say how I feel it. And that's always been me. Most of the time I've been happy because, everything's been going really well. But a few things I've noticed for just the promotion, not just personally, but just for multiple different, for competitors and athletes that are on our show. So yeah, I want to just kind of air that out with them.
Obviously, throughout your career, Michael, you've always gone out there and fought, but because of who you are, the name you've built, you're always a kind of a target of criticism. People saying, well, he doesn't fight the top competition, or he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. You talked about the title. You've kind of put that out of your mind and you're just out there fighting. Is it kind of the same way with the critics? Do you even pay attention to that kind of stuff anymore?
Oh, no, not at all. Everyone's a bit repetitive. It's a bit of a broken record. They're saying exactly the same thing. So there's nothing to really pay attention to anymore. There's nothing creative about what anybody's saying. And a lot of the times it's usually very average fans that only know a few people. I've seen comments like, oh yeah, you're fighting Cans, well, you should be fighting Conor McGregor. And it's like, well, I already know you don't watch the sport well enough to know that we're not in the same weight division, although he does come out, and we're not in the same show. So again, it's a lot of these kind of people that will flood your page, but it doesn't bother me at all. I enjoy what I do. I get to do what I do for a living. I get to train with some amazing people, coached by some of the best people I've could ever coach in the world, and I'm just enjoying life. It does not bother me at all.
And last one for me, Michael, you're a guy who has crossed over. You've done boxing. I think we talked before your last boxing bout. You've seen lately the hype around MMA fighters crossing over into boxing, this whole Jake Paul thing. I want to get your opinion on that as a guy who actually has done boxing and actually has found success in boxing. What do you think about all the MMA fighters either talking about, do you feel like it's just a big payday thing, or would you like to see, like, in terms of the opportunity of guys crossing over and getting paid, like, because you're a guy who's actually done it and done it successfully?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely for the most part of recent, especially the more high profile fights, it's definitely a big payday. The likes of Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they bring a massive audience wherever they go. Doesn't matter what they could talk about doing entering a breakdance competition, and you'll see a lot of people watching and tuning into breakdance. That's just what you have to give them props in terms of the fan base that they have created. And again, now that everyone's kind of interested in combat, which is technically good, it's a good deal for a lot of up and coming athletes. They could be headlining on a show, and you have credible athletes underneath them that will now be seen by a lot of new fans, and it's great for them. And like I said, it is definitely a payday. In terms of like the opponents that are going over to fight, that's a different question. I feel like there could be better opponents, a bit more. I find there's a lot more MMA fighters that are better at boxing that could be going over and doing the same thing, but maybe not have the same, maybe not make the same noise, or again, because it's all about numbers. So we'll see. Hopefully, you'll see a few more credible MMA fighters that are actually good with their stand-up as well, that can go over and actually make an actual impact.
Giancarlo.
Hi, Michael. Hope you're doing well. This fight is a catchweight bout, and we also saw like Paul Daly and Smile Masi fight in their catchweight bout. Are these kind of fights appealing to you, or would you be even open to moving up to a middleweight in the future?
Maybe in future. I'm happy down here now. I'm just glad I get paid enough money to pay my opponent to just shut up and take whatever weight that I want.
And a final one for me, assuming you're able to get past in this fight, get the win, and Scott Coker were to sit down with you and offer you the title shot against the winner of Amosov and Lima, how do you see that fight playing out?
That fight? You say that their fight playing out? Or
yeah, their fight.
Yeah. So their fight, yeah, you know what? Amosov, as everybody's seen, he's an amazing athlete, man. He's very well-rounded, great stand-up, great, great takedowns, great takedown defense, as we've seen with the Logan Story fight as well. It's a difficult one. I feel like he's a bit too undersized for Lima. I feel like he's going to struggle to take Lima down. Again, due to the size and Lima's strength, and because of the height difference, he's going to have to be a bit more in the pocket, which means he's going to be liable for those leg kicks as well. I think if he does get Lima down, Lima's got an amazing butterfly that he's caught everybody bar Rory McDonald with. So keeping him on the floor is going to be difficult. So in my opinion, I think it goes more to it sways more in Lima's favor. But it doesn't take anything away from Amosov. I think I genuinely believe he's a great mixed martial artist altogether.
All right, last one here, Nick.
Hey, Michael. Considering all that you've done in Bellator, you've been in the promotion for about 7 years. I believe you have a 14-1 record in Bellator. Is it kind of surprising that you have yet to fight for the Bellator welterweight title?
Yes, yeah, definitely. It is what it is. My journey is my journey. It's gone the way it's gone. There's been chances. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, even just being in the tournament, it was because I lost. I had a chance to win the tournament and actually fight for the belt as well. I was one fight away from that. It is what it is. Everyone kind of falls on whatever path they fall on. But hopefully that will turn around. In fact, that definitely will turn around this year.
And I know you said earlier you're not too worried about getting the winner between Lima and Amosov. If it happens, it happens. But you're not going to get on the mic and call for that. But do you expect that to happen? Because you're ranked number 2. They're ranked, obviously, the only 2 fighters above you in the division. Is there any other option if you get past Derek Anderson?
Well, yeah, there's definitely options. Like I said, everyone's got numbers next to their names now. If Lima does take too long to want to defend that title again, then Jason Jackson's there. If Amosov has just lost the fight, then Amosov is there. There's loads of people. There's loads of guys that are still in the division that are all heading in the same direction, chasing that title, and that are great fights. So I just want to stay active and stay busy.
Thanks for the time, Michael. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, are you good?
All right, we are now being joined by Anthony Johnson. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Damon Martin, your line is now live.
Hey, AJ, we just talked a matter of days ago, and so much can change in that short a period of time. Can you kind of give me your initial reaction to getting the news that Yoel was out of the fight? Obviously, I know you were excited for that one, and I know it's part of the sport, but I know there has to be some disappointment.
Yeah, I was very disappointed. Not only were the fans, counting on that fight, I was too. I had trained my butt off for him, and like I do every fight. But it is what it is. What can I do about it? Every time it seems like I'm about to have a big fight, I get a change up all the time.
I know that, going to a new opponent, that's, again, part of the sport. I know you guys are training for whatever happens, at your gym down at Sanford. But in terms of the emotion, do you have to kind of allow yourself to get disappointed and then get up again for the new opponent? Because, again, absolutely no offense whatsoever to Jose. He's just a newer guy. We don't really know him. Whereas Yoel, that was a big fight.
I had to psych myself out a little bit. You know what I mean? Just, how it is, man. When you count on something and then things get changed up, so much can go through your head, but I knew I wanted to fight. I was presented, some other fighters, but they weren't worth my time. I don't know, man. I just had to suck it up and say, you know what, I'm fighting. The fans want to see me fight. I want to fight. I know the organization wants me to fight. So let's just do it. Let's get somebody that's worthy, give somebody who deserves a shot, to fight me, that I feel deserves to fight me. And they picked Jose. And I'm glad they picked Jose. People may not know who he is, but he's a good fighter.
And last one for me, only because you did spend so much time training and preparing for Yoel. I can't say what the future holds for him. I'm not going to get into his medical issues or anything, but is there any part of you down the road you would like to revisit that just because you spent so much time preparing for that guy?
If it happens, it happens, man. I just take everything one step at a time. But yeah, if I get a chance to fight Yoel, I will. That's, once again, the fans wanted to see it. I was amped up for it, but the people that got me amped up even more and got me looking forward to it even more were the fans. The fans were so into it and so pumped up. I feel bad for them more than I feel bad for Yoel. You know what I mean? Because they don't get to see the show that they were, wanting to see. But once again, I have Jose, so I can't think about Yoel anymore. I just have to focus on Jose.
Corey?
Hi, good afternoon. Corey from MMA Mania. You've had all of your losses, aside from that Kevin Burns insanity, were due to...
That wasn't a loss. That wasn't a loss.
And yeah. Hence the insanity in that. Have been on by submissions, and your opponent has demonstrated some good ground ability. You've been out of the sport for a while. Has been a lot of work, maybe working on your ground game, hoping to shore up. What has been the only losses in your career?
I've over the course of, a couple of years, it wasn't that I sucked on the ground or anything like that. I just never wanted to be on the ground. I never wanted to be a grappler. I wanted to be a knockout artist, Whenever I'm training, I don't get submitted, and I have some legit grapplers, I hang in there with them. I'm not trying to be a black belt. I'm not trying to impress anybody on the ground. I'm not really trying to even submit anybody on the ground. Do I know how to submit people? Of course I do. I've submitted people in training. I have submitted a black belt, legit black belt before. But it's just not me. People want to see fights. They want to see knockouts. And that's what I bring to the table. So I'm just going to keep trying to do that. And so many people talk about grappling or whatnot, but you got to be able to take me down. And that's not easy. So, anybody that's truly taking me down, they were wrestlers, and they were great wrestlers, not just mediocre wrestlers. They were great wrestlers to be able to do that. And, yeah, usually when people try and take me down, they pay for it.
Nick?
Hey, Rumble. Obviously, fight weeks these days are a lot different with all the COVID protocols. But for your first fight week in 4 years, what's it been like getting back into that routine?
It's been great. natural. Feel like I'm at home. Nothing's changed. Everybody's still asking a ton of questions and showing a ton of love. So nothing's changed. This is. I just feel like I'm home, and this is just where I'm supposed to be.
And I know over the course of the past 4 years, there were some hints before you finally committed to the return last summer. Like even before that, you were kind of hinting at returns here and there. Why do you feel like 2021 was the right time to come back?
Hell, I thought 2020 was going to be the year to come back, but things happen. Everything's all about timing, and obviously the time is now. So why not? Why not just give the fans what they want? 2020 was not a great year at all for anybody, unless you was Walmart or something like that. They got all the money. Fighters didn't get to perform, in front of crowds like they wanted to. The excitement just wasn't there. It wasn't there for a lot of people in a lot of sports. But 2021 is changing. It's turning around for the better. So why not, man? I feel like this is just, about to be fun. So I want to have take place in it too. I don't want to wait till 2022 to fight. I'd rather do it right now.
Donna?
Anthony, we talked to Corey Anderson before his fight, and he was pretty adamant that he believes he is a member of the best 205 division in the world. Do you agree with that assessment? Is Bellator's light heavyweight division better than anywhere else?
I feel like that 100%. I feel like that 100%. Corey and I have faced the best of the best. You know what I mean? We've been through the ringer. We've, been at the top of the food chain, and we know where we stand compared to everybody else. And I'm not saying anybody else suck. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody that's in the 205 division, no matter what weight class they're in, they're legit. If they're in the top 5, I feel like they're legit. But I just feel like we have the best, and I won't deny that. I won't hide it. I'll say it anywhere to anybody. I challenge anybody to it. I think we have the best fighters right here in Bellator.
You've been out of the cage for quite a long time, but you haven't been away from MMA. You were involved in BKFC a little bit behind the scenes, and we've seen you on camera quite a bit. You've been big. You've been heavy at times. It looked like maybe you were going to come back at heavyweight. How'd you find getting out of 205 this time?
Well, yeah, I was fat and happy, man, when everybody saw me in front of the camera. You can say it. It's okay. I'm not offended by it because it's true. The journey's been fun, man. The weight has come off over time. Just consistency and eating right and staying in the gym and just living my life, man. Everything's just been working out coming down to 205. I feel better now at 205 than I did whenever, I was in my early 30s. I'm 37 now, and I feel better. I also feel like my body's changed for the better. Everything right now is just going smooth, and I'm going to make sure I keep it that way. So it's been fun so far.
Santiago?
Hi, Anthony. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time.
No
Sanford
problem.
MMA fighters have been getting a lot of success lately. Can you feel this in the gym as well, Anthony? That the confidence level is very high and everybody is working passionate towards winning fights?
We've always been that way. With our fighters. Even before we became Sanford, a lot of us are still together over the last 10 years. The energy is there. The athletic ability is there. The coaching is there. We hold our heads high, even when we lose, but we're not used to losing. Everybody's used to winning, and we're going to make sure we keep it that way. But you can definitely tell whenever you walk in that gym that there's a bunch of killers in there and hard workers.
And then last one for me, of course, I have to ask you about the Dutch master, Henry Hooft. How important has Henry Hooft been for your career in general? And how important was Henry for your preparation to this comeback fight?
For MMA, Henry's the most important person to me. He's my right-hand man, when it comes to MMA and stand-up, he's my rib. You know what I mean? He's my partner in crime. Regardless of the past, and all that stuff, he's still my guy. We still ride or die for each other, regardless of anything. But he's been helping me out no matter what. He can talk to me, man, and get me going. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to hold pass for me to want to knock your head off. He can just talk to me, and we just got that vibe, that energy, that relationship, and it's unbreakable.
Gareth?
Good evening, Rumble from London.
What's up, boss?
Hi. I was on the call with you last week, the press conference, and you and Romero were so lit over your contest. It was an amazing thing to witness. You were both incredibly looking forward to it. Really stoked you were going to kill each other in there, but incredibly respectful. No, but at the same time, incredibly respectful. And I just wonder, 24 hours later, what goes through your psyche as a fighter when you know you're going to have to switch against another opponent, that guy you'd been focused on for so long was there? What do you go through in those hours after finding out about that something like that happening?
A lot of frustration. When your heart and mind is set on fighting somebody, then it gets switched up. It throws you off track a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's still seek and destroy. You still want to fight. So it only lasted like a day for me, and then I was already over it because I know I'll eventually meet Yoel down the line. But he's in the past. I'm focused on Jose.
Talk to us a little bit. I know you've spoken a little bit about Jose. He does carry dangers. He's had a lot of momentum. He's fought a lot recently. How do you go about beating him and hopefully not having to do overtime in this one?
I'm not going to tell you my game plan because that's exactly what you just asked. But I just need to win. I just need to do my thing, and I just need to be myself out there and knock some head offs. You know what I'm saying? Knock a head off or whatever, and give the fans what they want. That's all I need to do is just be myself and have some fun.
Are you going to be holding the belt in about 3 or 4 months' time?
We'll see. We'll see if I get past Jose. I can't even think about the belt right now. Of course, that's one of my goals, but I got somebody in front of me that's trying to hurt me. So I need to focus on him and not the belt.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Dylan.
Hey there, Anthony. Appreciate you making some time.
No problem.
I'm just kind of curious. You're talking about not overlooking your opponent here, but just in terms of which, I guess you weight a little bit more than the other, in terms of the lineal belt versus the tournament title itself. I've spoken to certain fighters who've captured both, and it seems like they kind of show love to, the Grand Prix hardware a little bit. Is there a certain title you're eyeballing more out of those two?
Oh, I thought the belt was just a belt. I really wasn't thinking if it's a tournament belt and then, a regular championship belt. You know what I'm saying? To me, a belt is a belt, and I'm going to do my best to get it whenever the time is right.
Yeah, and Henry Hooft has been discussed in the scrum here, and he was talking about how your style just goes on forever. Can you kind of talk about the longevity that your style provides and everything like that?
Man, I just do me. I don't really... You can't really name my style besides beating people up, and knocking people out. I don't, most styles, you have a name for it. I just punch and kick, and if you're in the way and get hit and you get knocked out, that's on you, so I don't really have a style. I just do me. I do what Henry teaches me. I'm not saying I'm technical. I'm not saying I'm doing a textbook the way he teaches me, but I use what he's taught me, and I just mix it up my way and let it be what it is. So, but my style is all out. A lot of fighters talk about they leave it in the cage, but I don't think anybody can say they go 100% like I do. I was talking to my guy, earlier, and people talk about how my cardio is this and that, but I'm like, dude, I when I swing, it's 110%. When I throw a punch or a kick, it's 110%. Everybody else is pacing themselves. I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give the fans what they want. And plus, who wants to fight for 5 minutes, man? Who wants to fight for 5 or 25 minutes? I'm trying to get in and get out.
Last one, Lemmy.
How's it going on, AJ? How are you?
I'm great. You?
Yeah, I'm doing great at the moment. It's great to see you back, Anthony Rumble Johnson. Last time we saw you 4 years ago, UFC 210 against DC. But how did you occupy yourself whilst you were outside the cage?
Oh, I got fat and happy. I did a couple of things, started a couple of businesses, lived my life. And that's why I had retired. I needed to do that. But I'm back now, and life is beautiful.
You mentioned there you're back now, but when you first announced that you were coming back, it seemed like you were heading to the UFC. You even tweeted UFC 248 at T-Mobile Arena. You put that on your Twitter. What ultimately happened to returning to the UFC? But at the moment, I do believe Bellator is a good fit for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think Bellator was a good fit. As far as UFC, man, I still have nothing but love for UFC. They're a great organization. I've made my mark there.